I got cats. But we do have more cats coming up. So Puss in Boots going to be played by Mr. Otter. I believe it's his second time playing it for us. Always a good time, Mr. Otter. So we'll get him on screen very shortly. Playing some NES for us. He also played Deadpool earlier though. Earlier in the marathon. That was awesome. We do have some Bid Wars carrying into Sunday, so around 11 a.m. Eastern today, we're going to have a Metal Gear Solid 2 race between Tyler and D-Lines. And you can bid on which language you want the runners to play on, either Japanese or English. Japanese is winning $10 to nothing currently. A little bit after that, we'll have a Sonic R race between Count Booby and Commander, or CMDR you might know him as. The bid war is to have either snow or no snow on the terrain. That is currently even at 0-0. And shortly after that, we'll have a much anticipated race between Keith Ketchum and Eldrin Jerry of Chrono Trigger. You can name all 6 characters through the bids. You can even send your own suggestions of names. So definitely check that out. We'll play a little bit more music, and once we're ready, we'll get Otter in here. Alright, guys, we're live again. We have a pretty good run coming up with Mr. Otter. I'm gonna leave you the floor, buddy. Good luck.
Boots is he walks really slow. So we're gonna try and do very little walking, and instead we're gonna be jumping everywhere. And I'm gonna kind of just be jumping and shooting all the time, because the normal jump sounds like this, and so it's pretty annoying. So the shooting sounds a little bit better. So I'm just gonna be jumping and shooting across pretty much every stage, and that's our very first one, the Wild Wild West. We're going to be going from the Wild West into the ocean, and based on the map that it gives you in the game, it looks like this is the Pacific Ocean, that I'm just going to take a steamboat across. I'm not entirely sure of Pero's geography skills, but the goal of the game is to end up in New York. So we started in the western US, and we are going to go all the way around the world and then back to New York. These vehicle levels typically are just hold right and shoot quite often, just to make sure that you kill any things you can, and anything that comes behind me I'll mostly take damage boost from, unless something like that I can shoot above me. So yeah, we're continuing across the ocean. We're about to get to the end of the steamboat part, and now we're going into a submarine, and you know Puss in Boots is awesome because he has a submarine with his face on the side. And that is just an incredibly baller move. For the submarine section, same thing. I'm just gonna be holding right and shooting. I took the hit from that one fish, but that's the only thing that'll hit me up here. So I'm just gonna keep going. That little manta ray thing, I think is what that is. Sometimes gets close, but not a problem. We're about to get to the boss for this little section, and I'll leave everybody in suspended disbelief here in just a second when you see the boss. But this is exactly what you would expect the boss of the Pacific Ocean to be. That's right, a giant robot frog.
Kind of like that one in Mega Man 11.
Yeah, one of my favorite Mega Man bosses there. Good old Toadman. Alright, so now we've gone all across the Pacific Ocean. We're now in Arabia. And the cool thing about Arabia is, some of you guys that are real mechanically inclined might understand this, cars go faster when they jump also. So in Arabia, we're going to be taking a car across here, and just like old Puss in Boots himself, this car goes faster when it jumps. I think that's right for real life, but I don't know enough to say. Alright, and now we have made it from Arabia to space. Space is gonna look a whole lot like the lower atmosphere, but the game says it's space, so I'll believe them. And in space, you can get in your bi-wing plane and just sit in the bottom corner, and then just hang out. This is a good time to relax just a bit. This is also the time that I'll mention. I had a run earlier with Deadpool, and I gave myself a little challenge for donations. I'm going to do the same thing on this. Donate $2 for every minute it takes me to beat this. And so a really good time would be under 8 minutes, but I'm just hoping to get under 10. And then I'm also going to do $5 for any deaths that I take. Theoretically, I don't need to take any deaths for this run, but it would be pretty unusual to not have at least one. Probably 2 is about the norm. And like I said, I could just be hanging out in the corner. I figure shooting stuff is more fun. You got to get that high score, you know, that's important. Alright, we've made it through space. Oh yeah, by the way, the lightning in space is terrifying, but anyway, we're all good. So now we went from space, now we're in London. You can tell by the Union Jack there and the funny hats. And this is, I'd say, by far the hardest stage to make it through with no deaths. So we'll see how it goes, but first we just got to keep jumping and shooting. We do have some guys coming behind us now, so really the speed tech is just try to spend as little time as possible pointing left, but also don't get hit. And now I'm into the sewers of London, which have a bunch of conveyor belts. Again, I think that's correct, but I've never been, so I don't know. And so we get down here, now we're going to have a slightly different spike-filled room. There's a lot of places that just kind of randomly hit you. I've been playing this game for a long time, and I have no idea what the hitboxes are like. So I took a little damage there, but it's not a big deal. I'm actually in really good shape. Now I got some bats to deal with, and then we're going to fight the boss of London. That's right, there's a giant sword-wielding demon in the sewers of London. And this is just kind of a damage race. There we go, I got him. So that was really good. Little race for damage. I see the comment in chat, can you jump in the plane to go faster? You know, I really wish you could. Now I'm in the hot air balloon. In the hot air balloon, you do have to hit jump to not fall out of the sky. And I think that's how hot air balloons work, is when you're inside there, you just keep jumping. I got a little wolf thing in a hot air balloon also coming at me. The good news is I have a cannon attached to my hot air balloon. And because this is a NES game, and like you've seen all over the place, a lot of the sound effects go over each other, so this is my time to do a little remix. It's a pretty hot soundtrack, it's good stuff, and then, you know, oh man, I am one hit away from death. And it's kind of random how that all happened. Okay, we made it. You know, shouldn't just worry about going right, so I just kind of take hits. And usually not a problem. we're at New York. This is the last stage. New York is a kind of maze, and so casually this is pretty painful. But of course, I know where I'm going, so no worries there. I got some guys chasing me. We're just gonna be jumping around as much as we can. You'll notice the vertical scrolling is really strange. It goes by those little steps, and you can't jump up again when it's vertically scrolling, and so you have to be a little careful. It's really easy to walk off the edge or something because you can't jump yet. I got to take a couple fireballs there to do this the fastest way. And then in the Statue of Liberty, which is where we are, by the way, there's a giant snake that guards it. That's also factual. The snake is weak to bombs, as all snakes are. Whoa. Oh, man. He made it tough. Okay, I'm going to take an intentional death here. Here's $5 to charity. Because this is the final boss of the game. We are coming up on time. And so, yeah, this has all been going pretty well. The final boss of the game, as, again, you would totally expect, is a clown and a wolf sitting in there. And the bad news is, oh, I'm so trouble. Yep, there's another death. They are insta-kills if there's any contact damage. They hit you by frame if there's contact damage. And so this game, oh man, there's another death. That's 3. So this game is rough because you're just dependent on the final boss's RNG to not trap you in the corner. So like you can dodge the bullets all you want, but if they touch you, you are dead. Alright, I think we're gonna be alright as long as he doesn't make a run at me. There it is, alright, and time is there. There's time. Oh man. So I got a little trolled by the final boss, which is normal. It's a pretty tough game. Because of that. But anyway, we went all around the world with our buddy Pero, aka Puss in Boots, and it was a great adventure, let me say. So yeah, that's all I got. I guess what did I end up with there? 4 deaths, and looks like an 8-minute time. So I'm still pretty happy with that time. Would have been a pretty good run without those deaths at the end. Yeah, so I'll be throwing in a donation here pretty soon. Keep it rolling. We've had a really great turnout. I've loved all of these runs. I spent way too much time watching this marathon this weekend, so thank you to Mannix and everybody else that is putting this stuff on. And everybody enjoy the last full day. Let's have a good one. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much for that, Mr. Otter. What an awesome run.